The night of round 11 in the A-League 2026 will be remembered as one of those defining moments that subtly reshape a season, the kind of match that on paper looks like a narrow 1-0 result but in reality carries far deeper meaning. When Macarthur FC walked into the stadium to face Western Sydney Wanderers, few outside their own camp truly believed that this would be the evening they would silence a fierce rival, seize 3 priceless points, and rise to the top of the league table. Yet football has always thrived on moments like these, where preparation, belief, and courage collide to create a result that sends shockwaves across the competition. From the first whistle, the match carried a sense of tension that could be felt in every challenge, every sprint, and every pass. Western Sydney, backed by a passionate home support and carrying the weight of expectation, began with intensity and purpose. Their pressing was aggressive, their midfield lines compact, and their intent clear: dominate territory, force Macarthur into mistakes, and strike early. The opening exchanges were fast and physical, with tackles flying in and neither side willing to concede an inch of space. For the neutral observer, it was immediately clear that this was not going to be a calm or predictable encounter. Macarthur, however, showed from the outset that they had not come merely to survive. Their shape was disciplined, their defensive line well organized, and their midfielders worked tirelessly to close down passing lanes. Instead of retreating deep and inviting pressure, Macarthur chose calculated moments to press, catching Western Sydney off guard and forcing hurried clearances. This balance between caution and ambition defined their approach throughout the match and ultimately proved to be the key to their success. As the first half unfolded, Western Sydney enjoyed more possession, but possession alone did not translate into clear chances. Macarthur's defensive unit moved as one, tracking runners, blocking shots, and winning crucial aerial duels. Each time Western Sydney attempted to increase the tempo, they were met by a wall of resistance. The frustration among the home side began to grow, evident in rushed shots from distance and crosses that failed to find their target. Macarthur, meanwhile, looked increasingly confident as the minutes passed. Their counterattacks were sharp and purposeful, driven by quick transitions from defense to attack. When they broke forward, they did so with intent, committing enough players to pose a threat while maintaining the discipline to recover quickly. The Wanderers' backline was tested by these moments, forced to turn and chase rather than stepping comfortably into midfield. The breakthrough goal, when it finally arrived, felt like the natural consequence of Macarthur's persistence and belief. It was not a goal born of luck, but of awareness, timing, and ruthless execution. A swift move down the flank stretched Western Sydney's defense, creating a pocket of space that had not existed earlier. The decisive pass was delivered with precision, splitting defenders and finding its mark inside the box. The finish was calm and composed, a strike that carried both confidence and conviction, leaving the goalkeeper with no chance. As the ball hit the back of the net, the significance of the moment was immediately clear. Macarthur had not only taken the lead against a formidable opponent but had done so in a way that reflected their tactical intelligence and mental strength. For Western Sydney, the goal was a shock, a sudden blow that disrupted their rhythm and forced them to chase the game. The remainder of the first half saw Western Sydney attempt to respond with urgency. They pushed higher up the pitch, committing more players forward and increasing the pace of their attacks. Crosses began to rain into the penalty area, and shots were taken at every opportunity. Yet Macarthur's defense remained resolute, absorbing pressure and clearing danger with determination. Every block, every interception, and every clearance was met with encouragement from teammates, reinforcing the collective spirit that defined their performance. At halftime, the scoreline read 1-0 in favor of Macarthur, but the contest was far from over. The second half promised to be a test of endurance, concentration, and nerve. Western Sydney emerged from the break with renewed intensity, clearly determined to overturn the deficit. Their passing became sharper, their movement more fluid, and their attacks more direct. The home side's belief in a comeback was evident, driven by both pride and the roar of the crowd. For Macarthur, the challenge was to maintain their structure while resisting the natural temptation to sit too deep. They understood that conceding possession entirely would invite danger, so they continued to press selectively and look for opportunities to relieve pressure through counterattacks. This approach required immense physical effort, particularly from the midfielders who had to cover vast areas of the pitch. As the minutes ticked by, the match developed into a gripping tactical battle. Western Sydney threw everything forward, introducing fresh attacking options and altering their shape to overload wide areas. Macarthur responded with disciplined substitutions of their own, reinforcing their defensive solidity while preserving enough attacking presence to keep their opponents honest. The game became increasingly stretched, with moments of chaos in both penalty areas. One of the defining aspects of Macarthur's performance was their goalkeeper, who delivered a series of crucial saves at pivotal moments. Each intervention not only preserved the lead but also drained confidence from Western Sydney's attackers. Shots that seemed destined for the corner were parried away, headers were claimed under pressure, and crosses were confidently dealt with. The goalkeeper's composure under fire was a symbol of the calmness that spread throughout the Macarthur side. Western Sydney came agonizingly close to equalizing on several occasions. A powerful header skimmed the crossbar, a low drive flashed just wide of the post, and a goalmouth scramble saw the ball cleared at the last possible second. Each near miss heightened the drama and increased the sense of urgency. Yet with every failed attempt, frustration grew, and the pressure began to take its toll. Macarthur's defenders, meanwhile, seemed to thrive under pressure. They threw themselves into challenges, blocked shots with fearless commitment, and communicated constantly to maintain their shape. Their understanding and chemistry were evident, honed through hours of training and shared belief in the system. It was the kind of defensive performance that rarely grabs headlines but often defines successful campaigns. As the final stages of the match approached, the tension was almost unbearable. Western Sydney pushed their defensive line high, effectively turning the game into a siege. Macarthur were forced deeper, relying on clearances and brief moments of possession to slow the tempo. Every second felt like a minute, every decision carried immense weight.